Hello viola players, we are going to continue our work on Minuet 2. This video covers measures 17 to the end, so that's right after your first repeat. I have another video that covers measures 1 through 16, so if you haven't checked that out already, please do that before watching this one. So before I jump into it, I'm going to preview a new note. In measure 23 and 24, we have a new note. It's called the G sharp. So I'm going to preview that, and then I'll get into the piece. So let's start by playing a normal third finger G on our D string. So that's my normal third finger G. To make that note a G sharp, I'm going to take my finger and put it 1/2 step higher. If you have tapes, it will live in between your third and fourth finger tape. If you don't have tapes, here's your E, here's where your F sharp normally lives. Now you see that space, that's where your G sharp's gonna live. And actually if I put my fourth finger down too, those would be the two fingers that are touching. So let's try walking up. I know this piece doesn't have F sharps, but it's a good way to get us up there. So I'm gonna start on an E and echo after me. I'm gonna do E, F sharp, and then our new note G sharp. Echo. Let's do that again. Your turn. Now I'm going to add that fourth finger. So I'm going to go E, F sharp, G sharp, A. You try. And again. And in the piece, it goes right from an E to that G sharp. So your hand's going to be space, space. So let's try that. From an E to a G sharp. You try. And once more. Okay, so keep that note in your back pocket. We're going to need it later. But for now, let's go back to measure 17. So measure 17, that whole line, in fact, has a rhythm that we've had before. Do-day, 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 do, do, do. So it's just like the beginning. Those notes may look a little strange visually, but you see it's still 6/8 notes all hooked together. And we also have our hooked up, up on the second and fourth measures of that line. So I'm going to play through that line of 17. Just listen for that nice steady beat, and then I'll point out a couple other things after. This is measure 17. Do-day, 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 here I go. Okay, so you heard that rhythm, and then the other things I want to point out are when I have the hooked bow, tip, so we're getting to the tip on all those down bows on our hook bow measures to make sure we have enough bow to do 2 full quarter notes on that hook bow. Also, notice when I popped over to that A string, my elbow swung accordingly to make sure that I got that nice C natural low 2 on my A string in tune. So I'm going to start from measure 17 again, and I'm going to play through that line and the following line. And here's where our new note G sharp is going to come into play. And it has a bunch of other tricky stuff along with it. Hard to play and hard to say. So I'm starting from measure 17, and I'm going to play that line and the following line. Do-day, 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 do, do, do. Okay, so you should know what to do pretty much until we get to measure 23. So I'm going to do those 2 measures and break it down. It starts with another triplet slur, kind of like you had in the beginning. this one's just on your A string, so same deal. So I'll play through those two measures. This is 23 and 24. Okay, you've heard them one after the next. Now let's just do 23. So we have our slur in a triplet. So evenly, with that low 2, let's try that. Evenly go. Let's do that again. Evenly go. All right, we've gotten to the tip. We've done our triplet slur. Now we have a hooked bow. And the second note of the hook bow is G sharp. Okay, so let's just try that hook bow. So start right at the tip, set down that E, and it's that same jump we did before. E to a G sharp on that hooked bow. Let's try that again. Reset at the tip, E. And if you're having a challenge reaching that G sharp, notice how my elbow is swung around. Your elbow might be here and you'd be having a little trouble reaching that. So swing that elbow around. Okay, now I'm going to combine the triplet and the hooked bow. So this is measure 23. Okay, let's try that together. Triplet hooked bow. Alright, let's do that 2 more times. Remember that hooked bow, those notes. If you're thinking you're evenly, evenly, evenly on your hooked bow as well, then you're not going to rush it. So here's measure 23. We'll do it a couple more times. Evenly hooked bow. Evenly, evenly. Let's do that again. Ready, go. Okay, so that's measure 23. Notice I've frozen on my G sharp. Moving on to measure 24, you have a 4th finger that's going to pop right next to that G sharp, like they're magnetic. So measure 24, and then lucky for you, your G sharp has remained down, so you can come back to it. Okay, so here is measure 24. My fingers are all set up. My G sharp and my A are right next to each other. So I've got my 4th finger A. Do, do, day, do. Let's do that again. A and G sharp, magnetic. Ready, go. Let's do that one more time. I could have placed my 4th finger better. Ready, go. All right, so now let's put 23 and 24 together. I actually think these are the hardest 2 measures you've had to play probably yet in your viola playing career. So let's do them until we got it right. So here's measures 23 and 24. Ready, go. Okay, let's do that again. Ready, go. Okay, so those measures may take some time to get up to the speed of the rest of the piece. That's okay, that's normal. So if you need to, pause the video, work out that measure. I've had students where just getting those 2 measures right is a good goal for the week because there's so much new stuff packed into 2 little measures. So if that needs to happen, that needs to happen. No big deal. But I'm going to, so you can hear me go in and out of those 2 measures, transitioning in and out of those 2 measures. I'm going to start from measure 21 and I'm going to keep on going. So here I go. Ready, and go. Okay, notice why I just stopped. I did a bow lift. There isn't one written in your music. There might be some kind of weird up bow in parentheses thing, but change that to a quick little bow lift. So I'm going to start again from measure 25. This line is not so challenging, except for just make sure that you're using the right amount of bow on your quarter notes. Do, do-day, do-day, do, do-day, do-day. All right, and I'll just keep playing after that line. I'll point out that little bow lift, and then I'll transition to the next line. So now I am starting at measure 25. Starts on a C natural. Ready, and go. Bow lift. So please write in that little bow lift if you haven't already at the end of the line of 25. And then when we restart at in the following line, we've got these slurs. Just make sure they're nice and even. Those slurs tend to rush. Slurs in general tend to rush, so it's really important we think our steady beat and make sure the slurs don't change our rhythm. Sound familiar? Do a bow lift if you're repeating. If not, congratulations, you have finished Minuet 2.